Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today we're doing a nice colourful look because I love colourful looks, and this is also inspired by my very good friend Ranti. She's Rants MUA on Instagram. I will link her info down below. I am just going to get straight into it because I just want to get some makeup on my face. So let's get started, shall we? So I'm going to be taking my Becca First Light Priming Filter. I absolutely love this primer. It's so hydrating and it smells like sweets. So random, I know. I've now got my Lip Tinted Huestick in the shade Rise. This is my favourite product to colour correct with, and it's going to go under my eyes and around my mouth. Those are the usual areas where I apply it. Next up is the Ordinary Coverage Foundation in the shade 3.1Y. This is my idea of a full coverage foundation with a natural finish. For me, it feels full coverage. It's not thick, but it looks like it's giving me the most amazing coverage, which it does, and it blends out so amazingly. I love it. As someone with dry skin, this sits perfectly on any areas where I tend to be a little flaky or a little sensitive. It's just the most perfect and affordable foundation. Next is my Fenty Beauty Match Stix in the shade Cognac, and I use this to cream bronze around my cheeks and like my forehead. I use it a bit on my nose just to sculpt. It does have a very subtle shimmer to it, but it's not like chunky glitter, so it doesn't look weird or anything like that. But even then, I do like that it has a nice glow to it and it's not completely matte. It's also super easy to blend as well, which is why I love it and I'm always reaching for it. For my nose, I just take a smaller, denser brush just to help define and kind of contour my nose a little bit. Now I'm taking my Fenty Beauty Concealer in the shade 250, and I'm using this to brighten my under eyes. It is pretty light, but as you know, I do like a bright under eye. I used to love this concealer for the coverage, but in the last year or two I've just kind of gone off of it. It blends out really nicely with my wet sponge, but I don't like the finish as much. It's a little bit more dry, and for someone who's a bit eczema prone under the eyes, it's probably not the right consistency for my skin. I'm now taking my Milk Makeup cheek and lip cream in the shade Flip, and I'm just placing it onto my cheekbones, and I'll be getting a really nice fluffy brush just to blend this out. It is a little bit of a tacky kind of cream, but it does last really well, which is good. Next, I'm using my Laura Mercier Original Finishing Powder just to set my under eyes and keep my under eyes looking really nice and bright, and they will not budge after I've applied this powder at all. To set the rest of my face, I'm just going to take my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Powder in the shade Dark Golden. It's really lightweight and it's such a nice powder for my drier areas, which tend to be around my mouth and on my chin. I'm taking my favourite bronzer of 2020, it's the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the shade Deep, and I'm just using it at the back of my cheekbones to just help sculpt and bring back a bit of dimension. I don't want to cover up too much of the blush, and then I'm taking it onto my forehead as well. Now I've got my Makeup Revolution blush in the shade Baked Peach, and I'm just going to use this over the top of the Milk Cream blush. Now I'm taking my MAC Pigment in the shade Melon. This is multi-purpose, you can use it on your eyes, your cheeks, your face, and I love using this as a highlighter for my skin tone. It's gorgeous, it's golden, and it's beautiful. Now it's time for the eyes. Finally, I'm taking my Too Faced Matte Chocolate Melted Eyeshadow. I like to use it as a base. This is the shade Chocolate Malt, and I'm just applying it all over my eyelid so that my lids are prepped and ready. Now I'm taking my favourite palette. This is the BPerfect and Stacey Marie collaboration. It's the Carnival 3 Tahiti Love palette. I'm just taking the shade Tan Lines. It's a really neutral nude colour, and I'm placing that right into my crease with a nice fluffy brush. And then, as you know, I like to blend it into my eyebrow and the side of my nose as well, just so that everything looks seamless and really connected. Next up is the Huda Beauty Matte and Metal Melted Shadow in the shade Minted. I'm just placing it on a flat, dense brush and just packing that onto my eyelids, and I'm going to be using that as a base before I put another shadow on top. I needed a really good matte mint shade, so I grabbed my Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions palette, and I just grabbed that mint shade and just went on top of the liquid base that we just applied, and I'm just packing it on and making sure I'm really generous with it so it doesn't look patchy. I'm now taking the shade Reef from the Carnival 3 palette, and I'm just using this to create a little bit more dimension to my eyelids. You can already see the difference, so I'm really glad I did this step because I almost didn't. It's very subtle, but it just does the trick. Next, I'm taking my P. Louise base in the shade Winter Rose, and I'm using this to pack onto my lower lash line because the lower lash line on this look is going to be pink. So I just wanted a really nice base for that pink shadow. I'm now taking the shade Lilac, which is exactly the same shade as the P. Louise base, and as I was buffing that into my lash line, I realised that it wasn't really doing much for the look. So yeah, I felt like my eyes were getting a bit lost in the pastel shades, so I took this shade Bloom, which is like a really hot pink with a bit of a red undertone, and just buffed it into my lash line, and it looks so much better. I wanted to jazz up the lower lash line, so I took my Urban Decay Heavy Metal glitter liner in the shade Grind. It's like the baby pink shade, and I just lightly applied that onto my lower lash on top of the pink shade. It's mascara time, and I'm taking my favourite mascara. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes Mascara, and I'm just using this before I apply some false lashes. Next up are my favourite drugstore lashes. It's the Ardell Demi Wispies. They're so easy to apply and they look really natural but still fluffy. I was missing a little bit of sparkle in my inner corner, so I took my Inglot Pigment in the shade 96, which is basically a shimmery mint shade, and it just made the inner corners pop. Next, I'm taking my lip pencil from MAC in the shade Chestnut, and I'm just going to be lining my lips and slightly overlining my top lips too. Top lips? I meant top lip. For my lipstick, I'm taking my Huda Beauty matte lipstick in the shade Interview, and honestly, I love these formulas. They're so pigmented, they're so creamy, and they do last a long time. And here's the finished look. We've got something fun and colourful and different, so I really hope you liked it. I had a good time filming this. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed this look. I'm not gonna lie, this did turn into a bit of a gender reveal kind of look. It's a bit blue and pink and it just kind of reminded me of a gender reveal, but I promise that was not the inspiration. All the products that I used will be listed in the description box down below, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also don't forget to follow me on all my social media. Links are all down below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.